going on? It's Cal, your Urban Informer, bringing to you for the first time the Urban Informer TV. Kicking it off with Miss Chrisette Michelle. Her album Epiphany is in stores May 5th. Check it out. 92Q Jams, the most hip-hop and R&B, home of the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. Got another Urban Informer exclusive for you right now. Got Miss Chrisette Michelle.
Hey.
What's up, lady? How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Gotta say it's a pleasure finally meeting you.
Thank you.
Because you've been to Baltimore before, but this is our first time sitting down and talking everything.
Yeah, I've been here a bunch of times, huh?
I know.
Yeah.
Pork Chop just left saying he was a big fan how he wanted to marry you.
Hi, Pork Chop.
Now, you have a very unique sound to your voice.
Mm-hmm.
What was your musical inspirations growing up?
Jazz, Ella Fitzgerald, Billy Sarah, gospel, and hip-hop. Loved hip-hop coming up.
Who were some of your favorite hip-hop artists?
Coming up, it was Talib Kweli, The Roots, and Jada Kiss. All of that kind of underground, kind of speak for your streets kind of vibe I enjoyed. So,
right.
Yeah.
So while you were growing up, I believe both of your parents were deacons in the church?
My dad was a deacon.
Okay.
My mom was a choir director. She traveled a lot with the choir, and I was around that all the time.
Did you feel compelled to release a gospel album?
I mean, man, gospel is in my soul.
Right.
One of these days when the time is right, because I don't want to be one of those. I don't want to be honest, I don't really want to sing at church.
Okay.
Kind of want to sing the same places I sing now. So when my audience is ready for me to release a gospel album, then I will.
How supportive are your parents when you said, I'm releasing a, I guess, secular album?
My mom is my manager and my dad is my biggest support system. Very.
So it was nothing then. Now, being in the industry, do you feel like you have to conform to the, I guess, quote-unquote, industry standards or anything with your music and your look?
I don't know what the industry standards are right now. People tell me that they're different things, but I don't really see a pressure to conform to anything other than who I am. So I'm kind of having a really, really good time being myself.
That's good.
Yeah.
What has been your biggest challenge thus far?
Biggest challenge. You know what was my biggest challenge was putting down my pen, because for this second album I decided I want to collaborate. I want to be open-minded. I want to experience new things that I may not have experienced if I was alone. So I invited other people, and I invited Neo, I invited Claude Kelly, Rodney Jerkins, Chuck Harmony to come and hang out with me in the studio, and it was an amazing experience.
Complete the following statement. Speaking of studio, a writing session would not be a writing session without
candles. I hate when it's like bright lights in the studio and you feel like you in your kitchen. It's just not right.
So, Epiphany, your latest single.
Yes.
Love it.
Thank you.
Love the video.
Thank you.
It's on your second album, Epiphany.
Yes.
Was out May 5th.
Yes.
What's the story behind this song? Is it personal?
You know what? This is a very vulnerable album. I'm very honest. I've even cried in the studio because I'm talking about a breakup, you know, and I know that we all can relate to breakups, but this is my personal, and this is for everybody who's been through a breakup and is going through one. So Epiphany was inspired by that aha moment where you're like, you know what? I think I'm just about over being your girlfriend. All of a sudden, it's just like, I'm done.
So I guess it was kind of out there at one point where a situation with you and your manager, does that have anything to do with it?
Well, that was a tough breakup too in my life.
Okay.
But I mean, it wasn't specific to that.
Okay.
It was just a breakup album. You know, even the song Blame It On Me, like I dreamt that song, woke up and wrote it down, and then collaborated with Claude Kelly. And I don't know exactly where it came from. There was just something inside of me that wanted to release, I guess, pain or hurt. And it was a beautiful feeling, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, yes, I'm out.
Get me out of this. Now, the next album might not be Dandelions and Roses, but I definitely got something out on this one.
So in your relationships, do you put up with a lot?
I'm reading a lot of books right now. I'm always reading a lot of books. Steve Harvey's Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man.
Right.
The Millionaire Matchmakers, Be Your Own Matchmaker. And one thing that I'm realizing is that it's okay to have standards and ideas of what you want in a man or a woman. So I've written down my standards, and I have a top 10 list.
Let's hear them.
Uh-oh.
Or some of them.
Some of them. I need some of them. One is that you need to be stable. It's okay to date and have fun, but it's another thing to date with marriage in your intent. And once marriage is your intention, then you need somebody who's going to be able to support a married life. So I'm looking for somebody who's stable and comfortable being a stable part of a household or of a union, like a marriage.
Let me ask you this. Say a guy Would you date I'll say a regular guy, which may not have as much money as you? Are you open to do that?
What stability for a man is a man, and you tell me if I'm wrong, is a man feeling like he has direction and feeling like he has a place. I've been around lots of guys who just don't know what they want to do with their lives, aren't ready to settle down, and don't know what their place is in the world. I don't think you're ready to be married yet. That's my opinion.
Because you got to realize, you being an entertainer, some guys may be intimidated by that and feel like, yo, she could have any dude she want to. So they
I can't. I can't. I would like to, but I can't.
Why not? Whatever. You're beautiful.
Thank you. But if I could have any guy I want to, then I'd probably be married right now.
Really?
But any guy that I want to might not necessarily be the right guy. So I'm really waiting for God's timing, but I'm definitely paying attention to this list because I think it's wisdom that I date a guy who's got marriage on his intentions.
Let's get back to the list. Give me one more.
Oh, to the list? What's another one? Let me think for a second. Give you a good one. I like a guy who makes me laugh, and I know top 10 is supposed to be this real serious list, but I have to laugh. I'm a laughaholic. I laugh all the time. I'm always making jokes. Laughter is, to me, like kissing. It's very intimate. You got to know the person to be able to make them laugh. You got to understand their mind, how they think. And then when they release that laughter, it's like y'all just had a moment, an intimate moment. It's laughter. It's good.
Like, I'm big on personality. Is that important to you?
Very important. But I don't mind a shy guy because I'm very obnoxious. So you could be it's enough for me.
Balance each other out.
Balance each other out. I'm loud.
Getting back to the album Epiphany, which is in stores May 5th.
May 5th.
What's your favorite song on the album?
I think it's Blame It On Me. Say it's my fault. Say that I left you outside in the cold with a broken heart. It's called Blame It On Me. It's a song that I dreamt. And when I tell you, I released so much emotion in that song, you will hear it on the record. Like, I was just going in.
I felt it right then when you just sung that.
I have a hard time singing it. People will watch me. I sang it last night. People were like, you all right?
So you cried during that song, and
I had to turn around and make sure my eyes weren't wet. I did have to turn around and make sure that.
You scared to let people see you cry?
I am one of those people who are very prideful. I don't like nobody to see me uncomfortable, nervous, scared. And those are a lot of things that you experience in this industry. So
yes, you do.
Yeah, you do. Very vulnerable place.
Now, Neo produced a new album. Who else is on your I Must Work With list?
Rodney Jerkins produced on the album. Chuck Harmony produced on the album. He produces a lot. He produced on Mary, Beyonce, Neo, Tony Braxton. I mean, his list goes on. But he's also very new to the industry. An amazing young man. So I always got to give him a shout out. Claude Kelly. And then me, I also wrote on the album. So.
Okay. Who else would you like to work with?
I would like to work with Jeezy.
Let me find out.
Yeah.
You like a little thug?
I love hip hop. If you haven't noticed, I mean, how many hip hop tracks have I been on now? 5 or 6 maybe. The Game, Jay-Z, Nas, whatever.
Right.
My soul is hip hop. I love it. If I wasn't singing, I definitely rap. And I do rap. I'm shy.
You can spit.
This new album, on the deluxe edition, I'm actually spitting some poetry. There's a poem called Sister No Scowl, another one called Brainwaves, and you'll experience a little bit of my hip hop root in those poems. Really, really cool.
Where you from?
I'm from Long Island.
Long Island.
With capital G, Long Island.
Okay. Now, when I told people on Twitter that I'll be talking to you, what's your Twitter, by the way?
My Twitter is Epiphany Girl. Twitter me all the time, anytime.
So make sure you do that right now. Now, and they would say, ask her, where has she been, what she been doing in the time that her last album dropped to this one?
Touring. I've been touring. I've been all over the country, and I've been in Japan. I've been in the Caribbean. I mean, I've really been on the stage, really working hard on the stage to sell my last album and to set myself apart from other artists.
Well, the competition is, not too, let's be real, it's not too many that can really sing out there right now.
There's a lot that can really dance.
And
that's important.
What's the difference of being a dancer and a singer? You're a singer.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm excited for a lot of artists right now. Jasmine Sullivan.
Yeah.
Estelle.
Yeah.
Adele. There's another girl, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she's from the UK. Beautiful voice. Duffy.
Lauren, what's her name? Lauren.
Yes, Easter Boy. Yes, she's incredible. So it's a lot of great music out right now. I think that the last 2 years have been very scary, but I think